Today we're here at the Native Plant Nursery in downtown Oklahoma City, and joining me is owner Brian Pever. Brian, thank you so much for inviting us down here. It's a beautiful nursery you have set up here.
Thank you very much.
So you've been here about 2 years,
right?
And you've got some kind of display garden spaces. Tell us a little bit about those.
Right. So as we come through the entrance, we've got what I like to call as Graminoid Trail. And it's a space that highlights grass and grass-like plants that are shade tolerant mostly because we're underneath the canopy of eastern redbuds. Mm-hmm. The concept of shade tolerant grasses,
warm, unheard of, I thought.
Right, I know. So I'm fascinated with this concept. So I thought it'd be cool to build a display garden. So that's where the nursery sets up as one would make entry. Go to the left, go meander through Graminoid Trail, and work your way into the wood stems around in the pergola area behind us, and then everything on the other side of the nursery would be flowering herbaceous perennials.
Okay, and that just goes to show the wide range of native plants and how they can be used in the landscape, right?
Right.
So let's get into some of the native plants, and I've asked you for your favorites, so let's you pulled a few.
Right, yes, I know. Yeah, it's hard to do because I would select just about 5 of everything that we have. So what we have here is, if you think of landscaping, say your front yard or any foundation bed that's like a rectangular space, it's super common. We would work in layers. I like to think of it as in layers, and I keep it pretty much as simple as possible: small, medium, large.
Uh-huh.
So small plants, ground cover. And I love working with warm season grasses such as Bouteloua gracilis. It's blue grama.
Yeah.
This is basically full grown, so this is at maturity, so it makes a really, really nice lawn alternative.
Okay.
And it's very, very drought tolerant. I like to plant very dense. So I say often that the biggest difference between traditional landscaping and working with natives is that the density.
Okay.
It's density that we're after, which essentially your plants are doing the work of a living mulch.
Okay.
So the inputs for mulch, the inputs for fertilization and even watering and minimal maintenance, we can reduce all of that by planting densely.
And you're reducing that space where seeds could pop up.
That's right.
They could germinate.
Yep.
Different non-appropriate seeds, right?
Where there's exposed earth,
yes.
Is where you're going to find that a seed will germinate.
Right.
So I love working with grasses that are about this size. So this is the perfect grass in a warm season growth pattern. So full sun, it's got to have, it does not tolerate wet soil or wet feet. It's got to be well drained, and it actually prefers poor soil.
Okay.
So I will put you could work with blue grama in about a 1 foot spacing.
Okay.
And in between those 1 foot gaps, frog fruit would be a perfect candidate to use as a creeping ground cover.
Uh-huh.
It's flowering, it trellises around, it kind of just meanders. So it's a host plant to 3 species of butterfly.
Oh, wow.
So it's Oklahoma native, it checks all the boxes. It's very, very adaptable.
It's got a little fruit on it later on, right?
Yes, they're just beautiful. So all of these plants also work well in planters. So elevated planters, all of them will do just they'll thrive.
And I love that around the nursery you do have some planters on display, because I think, and even some raised beds, because I think we tend to think native being in the soil.
Right.
But you can really do it in your traditional.
You truly can, and I would encourage it too, because not everybody has a plot of land, or you don't need a plot of land for sure to make a difference in terms of landscaping for wildlife, making a difference ecologically. Ecologically producing plants are really what we're doing when we're landscaping for wildlife.
Right.
So if you're in an apartment, say you have a balcony, planters, just a terracotta planter, the 10-inch, you could put 3 or 4 species of plants in there, and the wildlife will absolutely thank you.
If you build it, they will come.
Right, that's so true.
And I recognize this one. This is the wine cups, which is a showstopper right now.
It is showing off in the display bed behind us. And this is another candidate that I often do, I use it all the time, in between a grass or even this next plant, which is, it's a grass-like plant. It's carex.
Okay.
It's a sedge. This one happens to be one of my favorites. It's super adaptable. I've used it in full sun, full shade, wet sites, mesic soils, dry soils, rich soil. It doesn't really, it's super adaptable.
So if you're thinking you can't grow one, try this
yes,
one.
absolutely. And it's kind of this, it will grow, and you'll have your inflorescent seed head in the spring that looks almost like a burr.
Okay.
But it's beneficial for wildlife. Basically songbirds will pluck the seeds.
Okay.
It's really cool to see. So I will plant this one on about a foot and a half center, and then hit the gaps with your ground covers.
Okay.
And I think diversity, the more species that you can put together, is going to be beneficial.
All right.
Absolutely.
And we've got some bigger ones behind us then.
Bigger ones,
so we've got
right.
your ground covers, you got some mid-levels, and
right.
then some...
So then back to the layers. When you can think of your landscape as in a layer, we create a base layer or a matrix with our ground covers, which will be dense, and then eventually all the earth, the bare earth in between plants will be occupied, which will limit your...
It reduces the space for the
weed
competition.
pressure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I really enjoy working with mid-range, 3 to 4 foot size warm season grasses like switchgrass. And I use these as a substitute for the concept of a foundation shrub like a boxwood.
Oh, yeah.
I will put these on about a 3 foot center, linear if it's got to be, if you're only working within a limited space. But if you're wanting to divide your bed of like if you had the rectangular space, you could line these switchgrass on a 3 foot center, say.
Yeah.
And just do a little S-curve right along the middle. And therefore, once you do that, you're then introducing new pockets of areas where you can do lower plants.
So that sort of gives you your structure a little bit into that.
Sure.
So I know some designers kind of design with different percentages in mind, whether it's evergreens versus, just herbaceous. Do you have a percentage of plants that you use?
Yeah.
Or?
So as it turns out, after I've looked at case study of all of the gardens that I've installed, 75 to even 80% of the design is grass or grass-like plants, which sounds like a lot, and it kind of is. But if you're thinking of it in terms of mulch replacement, you need it to be dense. So 75 to 80% of an entire design of a meadow, that if I'm going to do a meadow design, it will be a grass or grass-like, like a carex. I love working with carexes. And then the others will have a small percentage of, would be, say, like a wood stem shrub like this lead plant. And probably 5% of the garden would comprise of wood stems, and the rest would be herbaceous, flowering type perennials.
Okay, and a lot of those flowers are going to change, right? You start out with one and you end with another by the fall.
That's so true.
We've got Rattlesnake Master and a few others that are really going to be showing off this summer. Well, Brian, I know you've got a lot more plants, and I know it's hard to pick just your favorites.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for sharing this with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this video as part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on the OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.